Audio Jungle.
What's up, guys? Mike Penta here with the Mind Gym Podcast, coming at you with episode 2. I hope you liked last week's episode. This week we have a special guest. His name is Calvin Reynoso. Calvin was an Army infantry combat vet. Served 2 tours in Iraq, in the Middle East, right? And he's going to talk to us a little bit today about his experience, going back into civilian life, some things he went through, and how he got out, and then talk about his new business called Boots on the Ground, which aims to help combat vets, first responders, and hopefully he'll work into being able to help anybody who's in need of help. So welcome on the show again. Calvin Reynoso, thank you for being on the show, and we'll talk today a little bit about that and talk about a little bit of positive mindset. So again, well, welcome. And what's the first thing you want to talk about is you get the message out is you were a combat vet. What was that like? Well, actually, so you came out of high school. You're 19 years old,
I did a year at a community college, and at the time, college wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And then I joined the Army infantry. The reason why I joined, I had a brother who was in prior to me. He graduated from basic training in 2001. And I saw the effect it had on him. Actually, like, he got emotional when he graduated. He got Soldier of the Cycle, basically saying like the best soldier. And like, he's normally like not a guy that shows his emotions. And I knew it was something bigger than me.
Cool.
So I wanted to be part of it. And obviously 9/11 happened, and I wanted to.
At 19, when did you join? Like, what year was it?
This was I joined June 13, 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were in high school when 9/11 happened.
Yeah, I was a junior in high school when 9/11 happened.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you joined and you served some tours over there. When did you get out?
I got out in December 13th of 2008.
Cool.
And I deployed in 03 to Ramadi, Iraq, and then I did 06, 07 as a sergeant, team leader in Mosul. So I did over like 2.5 years total in combat.
What was the mindset like over there? Like you're a civilian and a veteran. Like, what would you say, like, what's the difference between civilian life and, I guess, military life? Like, what are like people like? Like, the atmosphere, obviously, people are a lot more, maybe more positive environment. You have drill instructors, they can tell you and kind of turn you into anything that you want. Where in civilian life, you can't do that. I mean, you say something bad to somebody and they kind of take offense to it and they go home and pout, and it kind of ruins them. But like over there, I mean, they're creating positive mindset for people to kind of keep moving. So what's that like over there? When you got out of high school, what was it like going somewhere where they were literally trying to create their own soldier? The perfect person, the perfect soldier, the perfect fighter? Like, what did they do? What was training like to get over there? Like,
so they I went to basic training Fort Benning, Georgia. It's a home in the infantry, and like the first few weeks of basic, they actually just break you down, constant attention to detail. They're asking you these questions. What's your first general order? Like, they show you how to make your bed. They show you how to polish your boots, how to shoot a rifle, and they're basically showing you attention to detail.
And why is that so important? Like, for people that don't understand, it's important to pay attention to detail, like that stuff. So what's their premise behind that? What's the goal? So
the goal would be that drill sergeant used to say, drill sergeant Sapa, he used to tell me if you can't handle little things, it will make you think that I'm going to trust you with my life. Yeah. If you can't make your bed in the morning, if you can't shine your boots, if you can't shoot a weapon, what makes you think that you're going to be able to lead troops into combat?
Yeah.
So that was kind of the mindset. So they break you down and they build you up and they make you believe in yourself.
Yeah. So is that the biggest thing there is making you believe in yourself? Like what?
Absolutely. Yeah. Once you believe in yourself, there's literally nothing you can't accomplish. The transition from civilian to being an infantryman was life-changing because I didn't believe in myself growing up until I joined the military.
Okay.
I battled with, I had low self-esteem and, I kind of had no direction in my life until I joined the service. And I felt like I belonged to something bigger than myself.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, at 19 years old, it's a pretty big transition. Now you served over in Iraq. You saw some pretty crappy things.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to get into the details of war. I think we all know war is not nothing like glorious about it. It's just something that has to be done. But then you got out and you transitioned from you went civilian life into the military, now back to civilian life. What did you expect coming out of the military? Did you think it was going to be, I got all these, I've changed as an individual. I'm going to be able to go. I've already got this mindset, this positive mindset. I'm going to be able to go out and just crush it. Or did you say, oh shit, what am I going to do? Like when I get into civilian life, like what was your mindset at that point? Did you think it was going to be an easy transition, or did you think it was going to be tough?
Yeah, I honestly thought it was going to be easy transition. I got so used to being around like highly motivated individuals. Like everyone's positive, like everyone's like an alpha male, everyone's a go-getter. And then to get out, it was hard for me because I felt like I didn't belong to anything anymore. Like I felt like I'm like, oh, well now like I'm not leading troops in combat. Like what am I going to do in my life? And it was a hard transition because like in Iraq, it's hard to explain, but like you run on adrenaline.
Yeah.
So like you're up here for 15-month deployments and then you come back to civilian life. Like you're dealing with losing your buddies in combat and then they just expect you to kind of just fall back into society. And that was hard for me because I still had like a military mindset, but I was a civilian and obviously what applies in the military doesn't really apply in civilian life all the time. So
yeah, I mean you hear that a lot with athletes too. They retire and then they're lost. I mean, think about how many athletes have retired and then come back. I mean, we just saw it the other day with Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. I mean, he did it for a different reason. It was more of a financial thing, but you do hear a lot of times that like they retire and they're just sitting around, they're lost, and they don't even know what to do anymore. Yeah, I remember even when I was done playing sports in season, I'd go into a new season my season would be finished up and I went from lifting every day and working out and practicing every day and playing games. And then there was nothing. You just kind of like wandering around aimlessly trying to figure out what to do until the season starts again. Yeah. There's a big transition. And I think a lot of people deal with that. It's not easy to do. And now you made a life transition where this was your job for a while. Now you don't even have anything. You're just coming back to civilian life and you got to figure it all out again. And again, you talked about it. You're in the military. It's more of a motivating atmosphere. People are motivated. People want to be better and become better. And then you come to civilian life. I mean, it's no secret. I mean, you just look around on social media. It's a pretty depressing world out there. Unfortunately, I don't know why there's so many awesome things to live for. But, again, this is kind of why we're doing this podcast, is to help some of our listeners out if they're struggling or don't know where to start or what to do. Like we literally, if we create our own positive mindset, we literally can do anything. I'm a firm believer in it. And it doesn't have to be athletically or fitness wise, but if you're positive every day and you create a positive environment for yourself, it's going to be a lot easier every single day. I still don't know. I can't grasp the concept of why people wake up in the morning time and say, I don't want to go to work today, but they're going to work anyway. Like you're going there. Why are you making it? Yeah. Why are you making it harder on yourself to go to work every day? And the same thing with nutrition programs or fitness programs. I see people come in and they're like, "Oh, I'm tired. I don't want to work out today." Man, you're gonna do it anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you're just making it hard. Telling yourself you don't want to do something is just making it harder. So again, anytime you go into something, just be positive and create a positive, environment for yourself so that you'll excel. Again, I'm not going to say that every time I walk through the door, I'm a positive person every day, but I try to like deflect that those thoughts. Like I'll think about, oh shoot, I'm exhausted today, I'm tired, but then I'll be like, I'm going to do this. I have to do this anyway. So you might as well start telling yourself you want to do it, and you will. So you transition to civilian life. You got a job in.
Yeah, I worked for Department of Corrections. I got that job 6 months after getting out of the military.
I mean, so you're just working now with criminals.
Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, that was a transition for me because, like I said, we were around highly motivated people, and then like obviously, I'm not dealing with law-abiding citizens, so it can be difficult at times. But
yeah, I mean, not everybody is in prison is a terrible person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot of like negativity.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity in that environment, but that's why it's important for me, my mental health, to remain positive and just have these positive affirmations when I wake up. And
so what happened? You transitioned out. We talked about before. You kind of went into like a little bit of a dark hole.
Yes. I was battling like depression and anxiety when I got out of the military.
Now, was it due to? I mean, yeah, obviously things you saw.
Yes.
But at the same time, were you just that whole negative environment of like I didn't have anything to really go back to. Like this didn't feel like where I belonged right now.
Yes, yeah. It was like a mixture of both. Like, I missed my buddies. I lost some friends overseas, and I like I said, I felt like I didn't belong to anything. So I hit a hole of depression, and I was in a dark place.
Yeah, and then what you said, you gained some weight.
Yeah, I gained roughly like 35 pounds. I was taking some medication to kind of help transition me back to civilian life.
Yeah,
and I just wasn't happy with myself. I just felt like I had no direction. I'd work out, but I kind of just went through the motions. I really had no passion for life at the time.
Now, like, then you started to take control.
Yes.
So what were those steps? What did you do to take control? Like,
so I was involved in a bad car accident in 2014. I broke several limbs, and I had some downtime. And one day I was just going through my phone. I went to YouTube, and I started listening to this guy named Eric Thomas. He's just a motivational speaker, and like it just spoke volumes to my heart, and kind of inspired me to just stop making excuses and just try to get better. And my first step was just waking up every day with a positive mindset. I always wake up and I'll post something on my social media account, something positive. Like I really try to live what I preach.
Yeah. So does that help you, like posting positive things or writing things down, positive affirmation? Do you do things like that? Because, that's important too. People don't realize creating a positive mindset, it takes work. If you're someone who's negative, it takes work to kind of create that positive mindset. It's like anything else. You have to be good at it. Again, some people use positive affirmations. Some people, read positive quotes. Did you do both? I tell a lot of people, look in the mirror and repeat things to yourself over and over and over again. You do believe everything you say. Yes. If you say things to yourself, whether it's positive or negative, you're going to believe it. It's a scientific proven fact. It's been studied. Anything that enters your mind, your subconscious, your conscious, you start to believe that stuff. Yes. So again, it's important. Try this out. If you're listening, try this out for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I don't even care. Write some positive affirmations down. Something like think this. If you wake up in the morning time, you're like, I hate work or I hate going to school. Change the word hate to I love, right? I love going to work. I love going to school. I love this project. If it's something you're doing at work, we have like EV people, and I hear it all the time. Like, I hate this project that we're working on. Change that word hate to love or like. I'm excited, to do this. Do it for a week, 2 weeks. Log it down too. Start writing it down every day for 2 or 3 weeks of like every day how you feel, telling yourself these positive things. Again, it's kind of like with your nutrition. A lot of people go into these nutrition programs and they're like, I hate this. I'm starving. I can't eat like this. I can't do this. But take the I can't and change it to I will. I am. I'm going to. Start doing that stuff, because that's how you can create that positive mindset. So you started writing down positive affirmations and quotes, starting to read them, because that was entering your mind and you started to believe that stuff.
Absolutely. So I actually, like you said, I'd wake up every day with like a positive quote. And one of the quotes actually stuck with me like for over 6 years already is, I don't know the person who said it, but it says, if it isn't something physical that is stopping you, then it's mental. Is your mind going to be your weapon or your weakness? I'm my success for making my mind my weapon. And that's one of the positive affirmations I say every day, because, like the mind is such a powerful thing. So every day I remind myself, like, I'm lucky to be alive. I'm here for a reason. Like, my buddies didn't get to come back and I had this opportunity they didn't have. So every day I try to like work towards my goals and objectives and just continue to just remain positive. And like I said, it's easy to be negative. It's hard to be positive.
Yeah.
It takes work.
Well, it takes a lot of work. And again, it's all about trying to train yourself to be positive. And if you're listening, again, this is kind of the thing. This is why I brought Calvin on, because Calvin was someone, and I know Calvin's story because, I met Calvin. The way I met Calvin was crazy. I met Calvin. He came into my gym. He was at another gym. He came into my gym, and me and it was supposed to be 3 other guys were going to do a 24-hour challenge. So we were working out for 24 straight hours. And it was something we put together just to challenge our minds. See, we kind of do a lot of these things. We did it for 2 reasons, which I'm going to talk about next week. About the reasons. I'm bringing a guest on who actually did the challenge, the 24-hour workout with me. But at the end of the day, we did a 24-hour workout. We worked out for 24 hours straight. One of our guys got into a motorcycle, not not laugh, but he got in a motorcycle accident, and we were looking for another guy. So he couldn't do. He broke his wrist. So we were looking for another guy. Calvin had just started working. I just met Calvin a couple weeks earlier.
Yeah, it was.
And he was working out, and I was watching him work out and how of a positive person he was, and the things he would talk about as I was talking to him in the gym. And I was like, you know what? You know, he is fit. He looks fit. Not to say that everything was mental. The way he was talking, I was looking at him and I was like, this guy might be able to do it. He's in the Army. He might be able to. We need one more guy to do this with us because we took a raft out. Believe it or not, we took a raft out into the river and we paddled a raft in the middle of the night. Like, I think it was like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. We paddled like a few miles, 4 miles down. So we needed one more guy. It wasn't like we were just. We needed him. So I was like, you know, do you want to do a 24-hour workout? And he was like, all over
I was
it.
all about it. Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, this guy's at a whole other level of human because, you know, we thought about this workout and we didn't really train for it, but the three of us already knew what we were going into. He didn't even know what he was doing. I was like, we're working out for 24 straight hours. He's like, I'm in. This is all I'm about it. I don't even care what it is. Like, we could have literally been like, we're just going to run for 24 hours straight. I don't think he even cared. He was just like, this seems like a challenge. Yeah. And at that point, I knew there was a different mindset in this person. I need to know a little bit more about him. And the more and more I got to know about him, I got to learn his story and going from, you know, a little bit of a darker time getting out of the military and the steps he took to get to where he is now. And it all made sense when I was talking to him. Like, the things he was doing are things that I tell everybody all the time. Write things down, believe in yourself, talk to yourself. You know, it sounds crazy, but look at yourself in the mirror and repeat the things out loud, you know, positive messages to yourself, read positive quotes, listen to positive people. You know, not everybody has that drive. And I mean, there are people who are excited all the time. I mean, one of my coaches here is probably one of the most positive people I ever met, Albert. I mean, it doesn't matter. This guy's got energy from the probably 4:30 in the morning. He probably has 24 hours of energy, but he's always positive. And but out of that one person in my gym, out of the, you know, couple hundred people that are in our facility, there's one. I mean, I'm a positive person. But I had to work to be a more positive person. People who knew me 5 or 6 years ago knew that I wasn't this positive and motivating as I am now. But I had to create that as well, and I learned through reading and different things. But Albert is just one positive person out of 200. You're looking at, you know, less than 1% of the population in the facility, and that goes to show you that not everybody can be like that. So it takes work to get like that. You know, one thing I try to do for all the members every day we walk through this door is, it doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and I know a lot of them are sick of me saying it, but I walk in, I say, today is Tuesday. It's the best day of the week. It could be Wednesday. I'm like, today's Wednesday, guys. It's the best day of the week. You know, I try to help create that as well. And it's important for me to do that to people. You know, that's, again, I'm trying to train people to be positive because I know them being positive is going to create their success with fitness, health, and wellness, you know? So again, we talked about this last week, people going into a nutrition program or a fitness program with a not so positive mindset, and people who write things down, set goals for themselves, create that positive mindset, they're successful and the other people aren't. And it really comes down to me. I have to lead that sometimes because you said it takes work. Some people don't even know where to start. And there's going to be a person in the gym, and there are some people that every day I say, I'm like, Tuesday's the best day of the week. Let's grind today. And they look at me and they're like, not again, not again. But you know what? A couple people walk into the gym now that weren't so positive and look at me no matter what day it is and say, it's Wednesday, Mike, best day of the week. And even if they're joking, they're believing it. They are believing it. And you can see it in their work ethic and their results in the facility too. So again, I need to facilitate that and kind of create that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so those are techniques that you use, and those are important because you're going to create your own positive mindset now. Absolutely. What other things did you do? I mean, you said you used to write stuff down. I mean,
yeah, I went through like I said, I was dealing with a dark time, and I actually started writing a lot too. So I would write all my thoughts down. I kind of got into like sort of like poetry. That kind of helped me, and I was doing therapy, and then obviously I found CrossFit, and CrossFit gave me like a sense of community. Like I always say, you know, it's bigger than fitness. For me, it is. It's like I felt like I finally belonged to something bigger than myself, and it's kind of obviously not on the same level as the military, but it's close enough where, like, you know, I came to London CrossFit, and like the community here is amazing, you know, and like everyone's being so welcoming. That that helps me. And just surrounding yourself with positive people.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be successful, you need to surround yourself with positive, highly motivated individuals.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
And that's the thing, and I say it all the time. I mean, I kind of say things like, yeah, it's not to say that people in the gym are negative, because to be honest with you, people in this facility are way more positive than just the general public. And I think that the community aspect of it, it's a motivating environment just to come in here. I think any training facility is, as far as a training facility, not a gym. A gym, there's some negative environments in fitness centers and stuff, but a training center, I think it's a more positive environment to start with. I think CrossFit kind of took that and created a community of people trying to accomplish the same things. Yes, a lot of it was military based in the beginning. First responders were doing CrossFit. I mean, it was kind of a small market, and they transitioned over to the general population doing CrossFit in the masses. I mean, you have 18-year-olds. My kids are doing CrossFit now. One's 3.5 years old, and there's people in their 90s doing CrossFit. So, I mean, it kind of made that transition. And with that transition, you're going to get negative people. So when I started doing CrossFit, it literally was the most positive place I've ever been in. I mean, unless
That's how I felt too.
Everybody wanted to just be great at CrossFit and do well and succeed in. But then it kind of, like I said, the masses started to come in. You start getting negative people, tire kickers, people who really weren't that good at, not that good at fitness. They just didn't care so much about it, but they thought like, oh, this is showing people results. Let me try it. And then they don't see the results. They become negative about it, and that kind of spirals out. So the gyms in general, when I go to gyms, you don't see that 100% positive atmosphere that you used to. And again, now it's, okay, I have to try to keep creating that as a gym owner. And I think training centers in general do it because it's a closer population. But again, it's important to try to create that environment. So you found that in CrossFit.
Yes.
I found that too. What I found about CrossFit when I got out of college and I wasn't playing, I stopped playing football in college, but I kind of lost that belonging as far as my roommates, my friendships I had. I was living on my own. Where in college, I was living with a group of 6 guys and we were always joking around, having fun. And then I was on my own and trying to figure stuff out. I got bored very easily. I had a great job. I was in the fitness industry, and then I found CrossFit. And I mean, again, it was something I was like, wow, these people, everything's positive. Everyone's pumped up about it. So again, that's what, you found CrossFit that way, the same way a lot of people find CrossFit. So from there, you started doing CrossFit. Now, let's talk a little bit about, we talked about how you helped create that positive atmosphere, that positive mindset. Like, talk about boots on the ground now. Actually, let's talk about your 24-hour experience. Okay, like, with that workout quick. I want anyone that I have on the show that did that, like, talk about it. I mean, what was going through your head? Because I know it was hard for me.
Man. So I'm not going to lie. Initially, I thought like, wow, 24 hours, like I could do it. I was in infantry, I was a sergeant, I got this. But I'm not gonna lie, there were moments of doubt, especially on that Hero Wad Clovis. Yeah. The 10 rounds, or what is it? 10 rounds, run a mile, and then
burpee pull. 15 burpee pulls.
10 rounds. So basically run 10 miles and a lot of burpee pull-ups. That's when I started to doubt. And then I wanted to get to that point where I'm like, I'm questioning my human existence. And I did. And then I kind of I told myself, like, this is what I wanted. This is where the good happens, and I kept telling myself, I got this. And I just looked over at you kept grinding. You're like, hey, Cal, keep going. You got this. Like, just being around that energy was crazy. It was just, I just kept telling myself, I'm going to make it.
Yeah,
I have to. It's not about me.
Yeah, it was definitely not easy.
No, I just kept lying to myself.
That's it. You're not lying to yourself. I had to do the same thing. People, you said you looked at me and I was like, grind. But I know that, like, going into it, I said, no matter, when I talked about this a few minutes ago, like, anytime I said I don't, or I hate this, or I can't, I changed that in my head. Absolutely. So that's how I was able to deflect and change that. Yeah. And as soon as I heard myself say, I don't want to do this anymore, I said, I want to do this. Yes. I want to do this. Mm-hmm. Or if I was like, I don't want to keep moving, I was like, I want to keep moving. Yes. Like, I need this. So I literally, anything that was a negative, like, word that I changed to a positive word quickly. So yeah, those negative thoughts went through my head, but I knew immediately just by my experience and what I've learned, like, and what other people have told me, like how to change that. You have to learn how to deflect that, because again, if you're eating or you're in a nutrition program and you don't want to eat chicken that day, or you don't want to eat the meal you had, just suck it up and just say, instead of saying I don't want to do this or eat this right now, you say I want to eat it, and just eat it. Or if I don't want to work out today, just go and work out. Say I want to work out today. I promise you, if you try that and you do that, whether it's with your job or your fitness and nutrition, just practice it and try it. And I'm going to tell you what, you are going to see a huge change. But it's always good to either video log it or for a week or two, or write it down, your experiences. Yeah, but no, I'm saying just kind of write what you went through. So you'll start to see, like, it was kind of corny the first day saying that to myself, and it still was, it sounded weird telling. And then all of a sudden, after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you'll read back to what you were saying and then what you were writing now, and you're like, holy shit, like this actually worked.
The mind is a powerful thing. And even during that workout, I just kept telling myself, 24 hours, like I can, I must, I will. Yeah. Like you really, like in the military, they used to, my drill sergeant used to tell me all the time, like false motivation will turn into real motivation. Like, even if just remain positive, act positive, it'll translate over into your life. And that's why I think like fitness in general is such a mental game. Yeah. Like, you talk about it all the time. Like it just carries over into not only fitness but everyday life.
Yeah, I mean,
makes you better. Really.
That's why it became more of an area of study for me. It was like, great, I know all this stuff about health and wellness. I know all this stuff about fitness. I've been programming for a long time. I know all this stuff about nutrition. Like, how do I make people even more successful? Some people, they're going to see results and they don't need to do any of that. They just have that mindset and it just works for them. But believe it or not, the majority of people don't. And they fail over and over again. And why? It doesn't matter what nutrition program you're on. You'll try 15, 20 nutrition programs. Yeah, you do well in the beginning because you're positive in the beginning. You're excited in the beginning. But, after a week or two, it starts to get tedious and redundant, and you're not as positive anymore, and you start to be negative about the program, and that's when you start to lose it all, and then you got to go through another cycle again. Like my goal is to, everybody's different. Everybody's bodies are different. People react to food differently. Mine is to, one, nutrition wise, and we run a bunch of different nutrition programs. Not one program is for everybody. So I've run different nutrition challenges here and tell people, if you did one that was working for you, stick on that program because that's going to work for you. So we'll do, ketosis diets. We'll do the RP nutrition, Renaissance periodization, which is for me, it's one of my favorite programs. It allows me to eat things that I like to eat, but that's besides the point. Again, that's a great nutrition program. We go paleo. We've done that type of nutrition program. So I try to find the one that's going to fit people. But then after I found that, now it's okay. I got to get them to stay on it and stay eating, healthy, and how to get them to keep grinding it out and not fall back and sabotage themselves and gain all that weight back, because that happens. You see it all the time. People lose all the weight, then they gain it back and more. So again, it's all about trying to create that positive mindset, and it always comes back to believe in yourself. Yes. Tell yourself you can do it. The number one thing is just tell yourself, I will, I can, I'm going to. Like you have the sign at the door. It says, enter only if you can. Believe I can't at the door. That's the door, the sign that's at New London CrossFit. Like I really believe it. If you tell yourself you can, change that can't to can, and it's going to be a way better experience for you in here. So awesome. I mean, that's great. Now let's talk about like boots on the ground, a company you started. So you went from not knowing anything, like when you got out of the military, as far as like what you wanted to do, your lifestyle, and got into this fitness. You brought fitness into your lifestyle, and now, we met, and now you started a new company called Boots on the Ground. Yes. And what's Boots on the Ground? Like talk to me about that.
Boots on the Ground.
Because I don't know a lot about it yet. I'm still asking you a lot of questions about it.
Yeah. So Boots on the Ground is a company that I started along with Tommy Hume. It's basically what I'm trying to do is create a sense of belonging in a community, like not only for like veterans and law enforcement, but eventually, hopefully, it'll be everybody. Like we're doing a lot of like positive feedback. I have a YouTube channel, Calvin Reynoso. We have a Facebook, Instagram. Boots on the Ground CT, and we're just posting like positive messages, sharing people's story. Like Boots on the Ground is about taking action and extreme ownership of your life. Like it's not just veterans, it's like every day, it's like the working class, like yourself, your boots on the ground. Like you wake up every day, you have a family, a beautiful family. You come to work and you put boots on the ground every day. You move towards your goals and objectives. And that's what Boots on the Ground's about. It's about like helping others. We eventually want to get involved with, the veteran community, raise money for PTSD awareness. So like I said, I'm kind of just...
So it's the whole company's geared towards a positive message and
yes, it's
getting people to be more positive.
Yeah, positivity breeds positivity. And I live the life. Like I don't just talk about this. Like I have my down days. We all do. But I constantly remind myself like being positive is going to get you to that next level in your life. And that's what Boots on the Ground's about. It's about raising the bar in your life. It's about expecting more of yourself and less from others.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing, again, this podcast and what we wanted to talk about today was a positive message, creating that positive message in your own mind. Last week was more about goal setting, but once you have goals, you have to move towards those goals. Yes. And the only way you're going to move towards those goals is being, trying to be positive, or not trying, but being positive. But again, being positive requires you to do some work too. So you're not going to accomplish your goals if you set a goal and you're just like, I want to lose, 30 pounds. And then every day you're just like, this sucks. I don't want to do this. There's steps to getting to those goals, and it's all about being positive. That's why I brought Calvin on, because his story for me was like, wow, negative, transitioning positive. Now he's trying to preach positivity and get people to learn from what his experience is so that they can become positive and, live a better lifestyle. Again, these podcasts aren't always about, health and wellness. Yes, I talk about it and I kind of refer back to health and wellness again, because that's kind of the goal for me too, but it's also to help you in everyday life. If you're a listener and you don't know anything about CrossFit, I do have listeners that hit me and they don't even work out, and they told me they want to start working out. I had a couple people send me messages after last week's podcast. But if you're just out there listening, like the goal is you to understand like everyday lifestyle. Like this is what we, is important every day to be successful. Like success is it's all what you put into it. You look at some people, like success is money, and that's for some people. Money never driven me. My success is seeing other people's results in the gym. Like and being able to be with my family, my kids are with me. And yeah, it puts a strain on my business sometimes and things that I have to do because my kids are running around the gym. But at the end of the day, like that's success for me. Even though I do very well financially, it's the financial part isn't the biggest thing for me. Helping others. Like every time someone sends me a message, and I get it weekly, someone sends me a message, sometimes daily, like I lost 10 pounds, or thank you for helping me finally figure out how to lose this weight, or keep working out and not quitting like I used to do in workout programs, or I got a PR on a lift. Like that, when people send me that stuff, like the satisfaction I get out of that, and the endorphin level, and everything's going, I'm pumped up and excited. Like it makes me feel good, because at the end of the day, if you're successful, you have that feel good factor going on. Like something makes you feel good. That's what makes me feel good. So that's why I went from making a really good salary at another fitness center to not really caring about that, because that wasn't my goal. I was corporate aspect of it. It was all about bringing in money, and I wasn't helping people anymore. So then I started helping people again, and realizing that, okay, the money isn't really what makes you happy. For me, it was these people telling me all this stuff about themselves and how awesome it was really got me going. And I was like, wow, that's my success right there. And that's kind of where I want to keep going with it. And I don't ever want it to end, because if this ends for me and I'm not helping people, I don't know like how I'd feel not hearing those stories every day, because it's literally is what keeps me waking up at 5 a.m. and, making sure that all the lights are on in here, and being the first one up and the last one to get paid, that's it. I that stuff keeps me going. Yes, again, having my kids here and everything, but and hanging out with me and getting to watch them grow up. But I mean, the stories that people tell me and how I've helped them out, and I didn't change anyone's life. I mean, I help people. That's what I do. I'm giving people the tools. Again, their success is 100% their hard work. Yeah. Like I can't feed them. All I can do is give them the tools, and just hearing that stuff and the feedback that, thank you for helping me out. And it's just, to me, it's like,
and that helps you grow as a person, that helps you grow as a human. And I think with me too, like helping others, like makes me feel better about myself. Like helping others, like kind of numbs like the pain like of like losing brothers in Iraq. Like helping others achieve like helps me grow. And I think majority of like we need to have more of a team concept. Like it's like not what I can gain from something, but what I can give back. And I think you believe in that. I believe in that, and that's what you're doing.
The members don't realize they changed me. I mean, a lot of the members who've been here originally know, like when I got out of my other career, my other job, what I was doing, I wasn't the most positive person in the world. I was kind of a negative, environment and attitude and stuff. But what wound up changing is the members changed me. Their success stories made me want more. Like I want to hear another one. And so who can I help next? So every day a member, to get me to where I am now, their positive experiences is what changed me and helped guide me to where I'm at today. So again, that's why it's successful to me, that everyone's experience in here, what they've accomplished, that's my success because they helped me get to where I am today. Their stories of success helped me get to being successful. Guys, again, this is what today's podcast was about. I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about that and trying to train your mind to be positive. Again, Calvin talked about his story and the things that he went through. And again, if you're listening, and whether it's fitness or nutrition or going to everyday work, guys, do it. Work for 2 or 3 weeks. Create that positive mindset. Tell yourself you can. As soon as you hear yourself saying, I don't, I can't, I won't, change it to something positive, okay? And we'll see where we go from there. I mean, I guarantee you'll be sending me messages that it worked. You know why? Because I've done it with a lot of people, and it's worked every single time. I've never met someone who actually went through that process and said they hated it. Not one. Because again, you are telling yourself and you're creating a positive attitude for yourself, and it's very important. Okay, guys? Well, thank you for being on this show. Do you have anything you want to leave?
No, I mean, just to piggyback on what you said, like, a changed perspective is a changed life. Like, you change your perspective and you're going to see, like, the benefits of having a positive mindset. Like, we just got to hit home on that. And just, like you said, you got to change your perspective to see positive in everything. Like, no matter what situation you're going through, like, everything you're going through in life, like, the trials and tribulations are necessary in order for you to grow. Like, instead of saying, why me? Why is this happening to me? Like, your mindset should be, why not me? Yeah. I'm built for this, know, and that's what the whole boots on the ground movement is about. And, New London CrossFit, like, they've given me, like, a great community, and, like, you've been a positive influence in my life, I'm just thankful and appreciative of everything that I have. So
yeah, awesome. So guys, next week we're actually going to talk to Matt Chilleri, one of my former business partners. Him and I were kind of the ones that came up with the 24-hour challenge. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, how that came about, and try to, help you guys, again, understand like what kind of goes on in the brain. Like, you're not the only one struggling with things. We're going to talk about the things we struggled with. I mean, again, I'm talking about all things for you to be positive. Next week I'm going to talk to you about things that were going through my head, and what we had to do to try to get ourselves going, and also how we wound up coming up with the challenge and the kind of the drive behind that, and we'll talk about some other things as well. But I want to thank Calvin for sharing his story. Hopefully you guys got the message that we're trying to send you today. I appreciate you guys listening. Again, if I talked to Calvin about this before, if one person changed because of this podcast, it was worth all the time I put into this, going into it with, Chris, my media guy, who's, doing all the filming. And like, we talk about this, with Calvin coming on the show. Like, a lot of people are putting a lot of time to get this message out. And we really hope that you guys can grasp this message. And if one person changed, if one person woke up every single day for the rest of their life and was pumped up to go to work and pumped up for what they did, then I'm excited for them. And it was every bit of worth it. So thank you guys. I appreciate you coming and checking us out. We're going to get you guys rolling next week. All right, later.